that moment when you realize that you weren't supposed to do that much of your makeup. Anyways, hi everybody, it's Brittany, and today I was doing a first impressions. And so what I did was I did my base. And then as I'm doing my base, you know, my highlighter, I realized, oh wait, I have stuff to use. Oops. Anyways, today I am going to be using some stuff. I am going to be going through, and I accidentally used blush today, but I'm still going to go through and swatch these. I picked these up at TJ Maxx. These are the Lipstick Queen Oxymoron. They're called matte glosses, but I picked them up because they looked interesting. Maybe I will still use them as a gloss. I'm definitely going to swatch them, but I was going to try and use them as blush. So I'm going to open these up really quick. I have the shade, I think this is Open Secret. Yeah, Open Secret, and then this one is in the shade Free Ride. We have two shades here. They're in more of a nude shade, which is Free Ride, and then more of a peachy shade, which is the Open Secret shade. And I'm just going to swatch these really quick just because I can. They look like this on the fingers, and they're it says that they're matte, but we'll see. I know that like the ones that I'm really into right now as far as cream blushes go is also a matte gloss, so that's why these kind of were like, I might like these. This one is Open Secret, and it looks like that. And then we have Free Ride, sorry, which looks like that. So as you can see, this one is definitely more of a nude color. And the shade that I have on, I already have blush on. I wanted to use it as blush. But I will come back to these later on, and I will try these on as lip glosses. Right now I have the Too Faced Lip Injection on, just because I have like 4 of them, of the minis, like when they came with the little mini blushes. I have so many of them that I'm trying to use them. I really do like the texture that I get from these. I will say this, that I did, when I put it on my finger, it dried rather quickly, which is why like the swatch on my hand kind of seemed like it was skipping around a little bit. So what I want to say to you is that it's probably one of these. I'm going to put it back on and I'm going to swatch it quicker. So see, definitely more smooth when you apply it immediately. So I have a feeling that these are going to dry down. I'm going to leave this on my arm and see if it's a transfer proof matte or if it's just going to be a matte, because I feel like it will. And then I also kind of want to see if it's going to stain. The next thing that I want to try out today was actually something that I picked up from a recent Hot Topic haul. These are the Disney Dinglehopper makeup brush set, and these are super cute because they're shaped like forks, and they're actually heavy. They're not like, I don't know what these are made of. Can you hear that? I think they're made of metal. Like, I think that they're legitimately, yeah, I think they're legitimately made of metal. So they do have some weight behind them, which is nice. I wasn't really expecting that from these. I wasn't expecting them to be like bad quality or anything like that. That's not what I'm trying to say, but I was not expecting them to be like metal. These were originally $26.90. In here we have what appears to be a pencil brush. We have, I think this is, oh, girl, what happened to you? No, not that one. Do you see her? Like, she went out, she fell asleep, and she woke up like this. I don't know what it's trying to do. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a packing brush, but she's seen better days. I wonder if I can reshape it though. I wonder if it's in the middle. I don't know, but she's not having a good time. And I would use this as more, I wouldn't say this is necessarily a packing brush, but more of like a wet brush. Not one that I would use for concealer, because these are the ones that I like to use for concealers. They're essentially kind of the same, but this one is a lot thinner, if you can't see. So this would be one that I wouldn't use for concealer necessarily, but one that I would use as more of like a wet brush, like if I wanted to apply maybe a ColourPop shadow or a shimmer shadow that I wanted to get my brush wet for, I would use this one for. It's just kind of sad that it's a little bit funky in the middle. It kind of makes me mad, but anyways. The next one that we have is a packing brush, and this is, I'm going to say right now, these are pretty soft. They are synthetic brushes. This one I like, and this one I like. I feel like this one is firm. I don't know if I'm necessarily happy with the length of this, because, for example, I have this one, which is the ColourPop pencil brush. This is the E10, and if you look at it, the lengths on these are very different, and this one is also very dense, and this one is very soft. So I don't know how well this will work as an actual pencil brush, because if you look, it bends, which isn't what I'm looking for when I'm using a brush like this. When I use a brush like this, I want it to be very precise, to add the color exactly where I want it, nowhere else. And if I wanted to blend it out, then I take a blending brush, because this is too hard to blend with, but it's not firm enough to add color. So I'm kind of upset about that, but I will make it work, because I mean, it is super cute and I just like it. And I like it. And then the last brush in the set is more of a fluffy brush, and I'm thinking that it's not angled, it's just a fluffy brush. I would feel like, with me personally, now everybody uses brushes differently, this one I might use as a contour. It's a little bit too, because when I use contour, I like things to be precise. So this is my usual contour brush. And as you can see, this is very firm. This is the Milani Kabuki fan brush. And these bristles are very, compact. And that's why I like it, because I can get it in here where I want it. And then if I'm using cream, it's the same concept. I just have a more dense brush for creams, because with creams, I don't want them, hanging around and going weird places where I don't want them to. But yeah, so with this one, I'm not exactly sure what I personally would use it for. I might be able to use it as a blush brush, but for powder, when I do use powder blushes, I do like this Sonia Kashuk one. I don't know what brush this is exactly, because it came in a collection of a bunch of them, but it looks like this, and it's just very, to me, it's very dense, but at the same time it distributes the powder very nicely, because it isn't too dense to where the powders are sitting immediately on top. It does have a little bit of softness and kind of wispiness to it, to where the blush powder will actually go inside the actual brush itself. So when I do poke it in, I usually don't even tap it off unless it's Too Faced. Then you tap it off. Always tap it off. But then, it just seems, and not only that, but because I have more, I usually don't add my blush up, I just add it here. This is really good for me, because I can just pat it in like this. And then when I use cream blushes, I just pat it in with my finger and go in a circle, so I don't even use this. Now, for highlight, I know I'm going into this huge brush explanation. Don't ask me why. So for highlight, though, I use this brush, which is a tapered blush, and this is the Bikoyu brush, and this is my favorite highlight brush. I've used this, I have not changed this. I've tried to grab other ones, I have this one currently in there. This is a Luxie 522 tapered highlighter brush, and I got this in a boxy charm, but I haven't even used it, because I don't reach for this. It's too dense for me. Same with this one. This one would be too dense for me. I like this one because it's firm, but yet because it tapers, I can easily get it here. I can get it on my Cupid's bow without, having it move around too much. I can get it in the spots that I want, but then again, it's soft enough and wide enough on the sides that I could easily get it here and blend it in nicely. So that's why I use this one. So, in other words, I have no idea what I'm going to use this for, but I like it. I'm going to go and show you these really quick. I started blending them out. I was afraid I was going to get it on my shirt, so that's why I'm just going to show you them. I know this video is like here, there, and everywhere, but these do not dry in a way that is transfer proof, but I do feel like, yeah, they do leave a slight stain behind when you put them on, so I just didn't want to get on my shirt. But anyways, we're going to try these brushes. How? I don't know yet, but we will. I'll use this for bronzer. We'll see how it goes. Because I'm actually going to be trying this one, which is the Nude Beach Volume 3 in Bodacious, and this is really warm. Okay. We gonna see how this works. This might end up in the eyeshadow or in the declutter. But you know what? It is what it is. So, I'm going to take this Dinglehopper in, does he have any, okay. I'm going to take the Dinglehopper, that one, and then we're going to go in here. I just have a feeling that this is not going to end well. I don't think that this was horrible, to be honest. I did use a very light hands, and by a very light hands, I mean like, oh, did I even get, no, I don't think. Huh, wonder if that's why I don't have it on this side. So, I'm going to say this right away. This you can use if you use a very light, I can use if I use a very light hand. This brush is not very good for adding a contour. As far as this shade goes, I am going to play with it a little bit more. I am not ready to necessarily write it completely off. I do find that this is actually not too bad of a bronzer shade. I feel like it is a little bit dark on me, just a little bit. You can kind of see I do go for a more natural bronze to my face, so this is a little bit too harsh for me and I'm not really into it, but I feel like I could work with this a little bit more. And it is summer still. I don't go outside though, but once we move into winter, I probably will declutter this in the future. But for now, I'm going to continue to use it just because I'm not ready to write it off completely yet. The next items that I'm going to be using are the Mulan palette. I'm only going to use this palette. I'm going to see what I can come up with just using this palette. Alright. So, the first thing I need is a brush. First, I'm just going to go in with your typical tapered fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into the shade Warrrior here. I also have already set my eyes, and I'm going to take that kind of in this area here, just kind of creating a little bit of depth a little higher up on my eye, because I've said before, or in case you didn't know, I do have hooded eyes. In case you don't know, hooded eyes is when you have this here, which if I open my eyes, you can kind of see that, or if I look from the side, you can see that I have this hood right here that kind of goes over my eye. So because I have hooded eyes, I have to be very cautious with the shadows that I put on my lids and my liner. So what I do is that I tend to go in with more of a brown shade, and I like to define a little bit of depth a little bit above my hood, because then I can add this, I can bring more dimension to my eye, and I can bring my lid shadows a little higher up, so that way you can see them. So it's not like I did all this work on my eye and the only time you're going to see it is when I'm either looking down or closing my eyes, because if in any other scenario you won't be able to, because my eyes are hooded. So I'm going into Warrrior, and I'm just going to create that hood. I'm going to create that crease a little bit higher, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't. I'm going to say right now, can you see this line right here? See, I'm having issues with blending. and I don't know why. It's coming out really patchy. It's also right here, if you could see in my outer corner, where it just does not want to like color. It doesn't want to catch. And this is when I primed my eyes today, you see, like, you can still see it like head on too. When I primed my eyes today, I primed them the way that I do every time I do my makeup, and so if I have any issues, I would be able to tell if it's an issue with the shadow, because this is how I do my makeup every time I do it. I've never had this issue before where I have patchiness or the color just doesn't want to seem to catch right. So I'm going to say that that has to be the Warrrior shade. So now I'm going to go into Family Honor, which is this shade here, and I'm going to try and lighten this up to see if I can make it blend, because right now we are having issues. That seemed to help a little bit. You can still see the line slightly right there, and it is bugging me, but we just gonna have to live with that. All right, I'm gonna do the other eye now. Again, I'm having issues with it not blending right. What I think the problem though is I think that this is one of those shadows, because when I blend out my crease, maybe it's because I use shadows that are better quality, I don't know, but I usually don't tap off my brush because I do want to create more depth on the outside of the eye. So what I'll do is I won't tap it off. I'll start where I want it a little bit deeper, but then blend it out as I go further into the eye. But with this one, when you get in, it's like it'll blend out in certain areas, but where you initially stamped it won't. It won't blend out at all, and that is weird to me because I've never had an issue with that being so harsh. Like, I can usually blend them out pretty nicely, so I feel like with this one it's gonna have to be one that I have to take my time with. And I don't know if that's because it's more pigmented, maybe it's just got really high pigmentation as far as the shadow itself, or if it's because it's just not very good at blending. I don't know. So, I don't understand, though, why it won't catch in this corner, though. That is still confusing me. Because even if I go in and stamp... Wait. I take that back. I fixed it. Alright. That's better. I do like this shade. It's a nice, beautiful, kind of like... How do I explain that? It's like a very deep, warm brown. I do like this shade, but I can't get it to blend the way that I want it to, and it's making me mad. I find that when I blend it, I took a clean, firmer, fluffy brush or blending brush and tried to blend it together or blend it out at the edges a little better, and I'm finding that I'm still having issues, and the only thing that I'm doing is bringing back that darkness that I tried to get rid of. So I don't like this shade whatsoever. So I'm just gonna move on. I'm gonna try and bring up a shade to kind of counteract it. All right, I'm gonna go in with a thinner brush. This is a Japanesque 232, and it's just looks like this. It's a pencil E brush, but it has more of a blended tip. It's not as thick. And I'm going to go into the shade Dishonor on Your Cow, and I'm going to try and see how that goes. Oh, frick. Sorry. All right. Oh, shoot. I am having a lot of issues. I tried to fix it by adding the Dishonor on Your Cow, which was this blue shade here, and all I've seemed to do is, I mean, can you see on here, I'm still having issues with patchiness. It's just, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna do the other side. I can't. It is starting to lift again in this corner. I don't know why. This side seems to blend out a lot nicer than this side, but the problem is that watch. Here is, I have 2 of these, by the way. But here's another brush. I can literally... like, blend it gone. How is it? So I'm trying to blend. I mean, I guess it would be nice if you got it in the wrong spot, but I shouldn't be able to blend it away. I don't know. This is so strange to me. Not only that, but it seems to, it's like so messy. Oh, I'm getting angry. I'm getting really angry. All right, so I'm going to go back in Family Honor, which was that white shade, and I'm going to actually take this brush, which was one that I had used to just try and blend out. It doesn't have any powder on it directly. And I'm going to try to lighten this up because I really do feel like this is just out of control. All right. So now I'm going to use this brush finally, which is another one of the Dinglehopper brushes. This is the packing brush. I'm actually going to go into this shade here, Bravery, and I might go in with a little bit of Reflection. And I'm just going to pop that into the first third-ish kind of area. First I'm going to go in. Okay, so off the bat, all right, so it's not very good on a fluffy brush. I'm going to try it on my finger. Much better with my finger. I'm not happy. Do you see? Can you see how it's getting chunky almost on the lid? All right, I'm gonna try and go in with that same shade, Bravery, but I'm gonna use a little bit of Fix Plus on it. Okay, that didn't help. That made it worse. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what I've learned is, can you see that? Yeah. Don't use Fix Plus. I don't even know how I'm gonna salvage this look at this point, to be honest. More or less, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh my goodness. That is so bizarre. Let me see if I can just take the packing brush. Where is it? There. And see if I can blend it maybe. Try to get rid of some of that chunkiness that I now have on my eyelid. The only time I've ever had this happen like this is when I used the ColourPop, what is it? The liquid shadows, the shiny liquid shadows. I cannot think of what they're called right now. I've never had an actual powder shadow do this to me. I was able to semi-salvage it so it doesn't look horrible, but just be aware that it doesn't do well with Fix Plus. I'm going to take this brush here. I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this in that shade Reflection, which was this shade right here. Now this is more of a, well, it feels more of a cream-ish texture. So I'm just going to add that to my inner corner. I feel like that this brush is actually, I should say, really good for that. I was initially thinking, like, how would I use this brush as, you know, anything other than a pencil brush, because it's not very good at that. But I do find that it does do really well at putting the inner corner, and I just realized I don't have. I'm just going to go in with this Lucky Cricket shade really quick, which is this shade here, and I'm going to kind of line down here. Now I'm going to go back in with my cushion, and I'm just going to kind of clean up these lines because we got crazy face going. This is really trying my patience right now. So what I usually do is I will take a cushion and I will kind of just, it's the cushion that I would have used for my foundation, but I don't put any foundation on it. But I like to use these to kind of clean up this area because it does have a little bit of that, you know, remaining cream on it, but it's not enough to where I feel like it kind of goes against the powder that I've already set my eyes with. So usually what I'll do is I'll just, you know, either pat it out along here. I will clean up down here and then I will pat up here to kind of soften the edges. Well, what this did was it decided to take off and make a very harsh line. So then I tried to go back in and fix said harsh line. And then, you know, this doesn't blend right. It doesn't do anything right. It just doesn't. I don't understand. I don't get it. Okay? I just don't. So I'm just going to say right now that I am going to try this again. One more time. I'm going to give it one more chance. But if I cannot get these to work, I'm going to probably end up decluttering it. There isn't enough going on in this palette to make me want to keep it. A lot of these shades I have time and time again that I like the most. The only one that I don't necessarily think I have is this Dishonor on Your Cow. And honestly, it doesn't blend well, so there's really no like incentive to actually keep this. And then this Magnolia, which again is very beautiful. I haven't used it on my eyes yet, so I will try that again. I will, like I said, try this. I might have to use this with another palette kind of to get this transition started and then use these shades just to get, you know, an eye look that I can enjoy. Because this one, no. This is not my best work. So this is the final look. I added mascara, the Wander mascara that I got in my BoxyCharm, and then I also added just a cream nude liner in my waterline, which is my Pretty Vulgar one, I think in the shade Blank Page, and that's what we're doing. So I'm going to do one final thing. I am going to use one of these as a lipstick. I think that I am going to go with, I think I'm going to go with this one, more of a cool tone nude. So first I'm going to apply it using just my finger. So as far as application goes, it's not that difficult to use. I do find I did have a the Too Faced kind of lip injection gloss over on my lips already, so I already had more of a moist base. I didn't wipe it off, I just left it on. And I find that this applied very nicely, very evenly. I obviously, using my hands, had a little bit more difficulty in the, you know, inner corner, but I do feel like these apply nicely. I didn't have an issue with it. As far as them drying down, I feel like even though I had a gloss on, I can tell that it has dried down a little bit. It's not glossy anymore. And I find that it's very comfortable. So on the lips, these are nice. I do like these. And I will probably use these. I will interchange these probably with both because I can use it with my finger. I find that some of these like bigger like lip things like this, I'm not going to carry this around in my purse. But if, for example, I did carry like one of these around, one of these more, well, I should say this one, the nude shade around, which is more neutral, that this could actually be, it would be nice to carry around. I could use it as a touch-up with blush. It has a mirror that I can use, and I can use it also as a lip color. So, I do like these. I'm glad I purchased these. I will probably see if, I think they had another one. I'll see if I can find it. I'll probably go back and try to find the rest of these. These are really nice. As far as these brushes go, I feel like these are really hit and miss with the way that they work, I guess. Maybe if when they get a little bit more worn in, you know how sometimes you have brushes that are really stiff when you get them initially, but after a few washes, they kind of they loosen up a little bit and they become softer and they are more usable. Maybe that is the case, but I feel like with these, we're Where's the other one? I only am going to be able to get use out of, I feel, 2 of them, which is the packing brush and the pencil brush, and I'm glad that I was able to use this as an inner corner highlight so that I was actually able to incorporate this within my brushes and have a use for it, because otherwise I would have only had this brush, and that would have been really sad considering I spent $26 on 4 brushes to only use 1. So I do like this one though, and this one. I feel like this one, I just got a wonky cut. I don't know that, I mean, that says a lot, I guess, about the company themselves, that they kind of aren't, really don't have any, like, what is it, quality control as far as these brushes go, or they just think that this is how the brush should look. And then in that case, please let me know what it is that I'm supposed to do with this then. Why is it that my little brush has an alfalfa tail? I don't understand. Or a ducktail. Kind of looks like, you know, back in the day how they had their hairs like slicked off to the side a little bit. That's kind of ducktail, I mean. And then this one I personally just can't find a use for. Now, you might have a use for this brush in particular. I just don't. As far as the Nude Beach goes, this shade in particular is a little bit too dark. It might look a little better on camera. It probably doesn't. It looks probably just like a nice bronze on my skin on camera. In person, I look like somebody just smacked me with an orange. I will try it again where I can, maybe I'll try it and then try to blend it out. I don't know. I'll try it again. That's all I can say. And then the eyeshadow palette. For now, this is a no. Now, I'm not going to say that this is a no forever. I am going to try it one more time. But for now, this, I'm going to have to say, is a no. It's just, I cannot. I feel like I have like 2 black eyes right now because I just got so tired of blending that I just decided to just darken it all up. I didn't care because it was either I added this color all over my eye and let it just be this dark mess on my face, essentially, or I just had patchiness everywhere. And like I said, it's not the base because I've used this base concoction time and time again, and I've never had an issue with it. So it's the shadows. So I'm gonna go in, I'm going to try, I did use some brushes that I don't typically use all the time. That's why I will try this one more time using everything that I use every single time that I do my makeup to try and give it the best foot forward, I guess, or give it the best opportunity in life, I guess is what I'm trying to say, to succeed. So for now, this is a no. The lipsticks are a yes. I will try them as blushes again. And this for now is a no for until I can figure out how to use it. I'm just feeling like this is probably just going to be too dark for me and I'm going to have to declutter it, which is fine. I'm not a bronze hoarder, so to me it's no big deal. I'm more of a blush, highlighter, eyeshadow hoarder, pretty thing hoarder. So anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I probably repeated myself 6,000 times, so please come back for more so I can repeat myself again. Anyways, I love you all, you beautiful unicorns. Bye. How bad is it? I feel like it's so bad. Oh, thank God I'm not going anywhere. Me and G-Dragon are just gonna go hang out.